again. Good afternoon, good evening, and welcome back to another Bloody Amateurs. We've had a little break. We've had holidays. Stu's had about 4 holidays, I think. Ricky looked pasty, so I don't think he's actually been on holiday. I certainly have been on holiday. That's why I'm carrying a bit of extra timber. We won't go into that. We've been casting the net a little wider. We looked around at different people and we landed over at a local club, Crossfields. And we're delighted to say we've been joined today by John Dawn. Welcome, John.
Hi, mate.
Really glad to have you down. Thanks for coming down. Nothing too serious. Don't worry about it. I don't want you getting too deep. It's not a mental therapy session. Although we do get deep at some point. But it's just a bit of a conversation, really, about what you've been doing, how you've got there, and the journey in between. Me, Ricky and Stu are lucky enough to play down at Rylands at the Masters. And we're just going to quiz you on about how you've ended up as you are now at Crozzies.
As I was
at Crozzies until he retired. Became a full-time gardener for Stu on the Hull estate.
Taxman might be watching this.
Yes. Yeah, everyone is always a bit worried about who's watching. But we had a little chat before. So coming through school, rugby league, rugby union, football.
Bradshaw Lane, late 70s. I'm 57, so late 70s. And the team at Bradshaw Lane was outstanding. The full 13-man side was outstanding. Beat everybody. When Beaumont used to be dead good and what have you. And to my recognition, the Bradshaw Lane were the best team, even though it was a Grapnell team. And it was run by a bloke called Norman Harrison, who had quite a bit to do with rugby league in the town and the schools, but also someone you will know, Badge Brian Chambers, was coaching as well. And his son Lee was part of that team, Lee Chambers. Everybody calls him Sid, I don't know if you know who that is. So it was hard enough to get in the 13-a-side team, so I didn't play very much, and I was dead small as well. And of limited ability, I don't mind admitting, but in another primary school, I probably would have been playing all the time.
Right.
We had 5, 6, 7 of those lads ended up playing for Warrington, the schools boys thing, when they played at Wembley. I can't remember the final, it's going to be 79-80, but they all played in that final. Remember, when they used to do the school ball? Say that again?
I was even born then.
Right.
Sure.
81 hours.
So you're aware that they used to do a schoolboys game as a curtain raiser to the Wembley final. And one thing I do recall about this Wembley final, the Warrington schoolboys, I can't remember whether they won or not. And it's not that funny, to be honest, but it is funny. There's humour in everything. The person presenting the medals at the end of the game was Jimmy Savile. Now then. So I might have had a lucky escape. So that age category at that primary school and the town was very, very competitive, and I sort of dropped out and lost interest really. Went to Lim. They played rugby union, obviously, as you know.
Yeah, it's strange, isn't it, being just a small... We're not a big town, we're a small town.
Yeah.
And just across the water, they play union, whereas on that side, I think union was something that posh kids played. And now, it's... I don't ever recall anybody playing union when I was growing up.
It's a posh side of the town, though.
It's only a small town.
Well, there was always... Eagle's been around for quite a long time. Warrington Rugby Union's been around for a long time. You've always had lads who've played it and only played union as well. Yeah. Although I would say there are a lot of lads who finished playing league, then went to play union, whether they were pros or amateurs, that's what they did.
Yeah.
But it has been a battle. But Lim, it's just... I think some people think Lim's not even in Warrington, but it actually is. It is part of Warrington.
The people in Lim don't think they're in
Warrington.
No,
we know. We know that, don't we? And the fact it was an ex-grammar school, it changed the year I went, 81, I think. but they still predominantly played union, and they had a massive connection to the rugby union club as well.
Forever going on, yeah.
Yeah, and that's why I think as well is Lim Rugby Union is a lot higher in the leagues than say like Warrington have ever got, or Eagle
But
have
facilities,
ever got.
we were lucky to play. We had a game against Lim, didn't we?
On
We
the
played,
Astro.
Yeah, played half league and then half union.
Right.
I broke my hand. I don't remember. I broke my hand in that game. Anyway, but the facilities were spot on, and the raffle after was really good. We won a bottle of Kraken, which we swiftly dispatched.
But I think that is why I think it's location and relating to the school that they've, and you look at what's always interesting is a rugby union club that's got the same town name or in the town of a rugby league club. There's not many that play at the high level as there. You'd only say, I think, Leeds would be ones that are in probably the top 2 or 3 divisions. There's not many, is there?
Who managed to carry a high level league
Of
team
rugby
and
rugby union
yeah.
team, because the kids feeding in or the people
they
feeding
get
in
that, yeah.
are all playing rugby league, aren't they? Or they were.
And the strange thing is the disparity between the union lads' wages and the league allegedly is huge. These lads are on, multi-million-pound contracts allegedly.
Yeah.
And the league is still lagging really.
But I think it's just there's a big word, histrionics of the area.
Yeah.
It is everybody's wanted to play rugby league or predominantly rugby league.
I think sadly somehow rugby league has always been looked down as the poor man's sport. It doesn't get the recognition. It certainly doesn't get the coverage. If you go on, the BBC will say, "Oh, we've got this game," and they don't really seem to be pushing it that much. And Super League was another boost that it needed. But even now, there'll be no football on a Sunday, and they won't put a Sunday game on Sky at 3 o'clock.
Right, yeah.
And it seems strange, all these games, they've stretched it now because you can play Thursday, Friday, Saturday or Sunday. And it is a bit of it doesn't get the recognition it deserves.
Yeah, cricket on 4 Sky Sports channel the other day, and the rugby league was on live.
But it was on the player.
Yeah, but they've squeezed it onto the Sky Sports Plus channel.
4 cricket games, the same game on 4 channels.
I mean, it is good that you can now watch every single Super League game. But most of them are on the player, you're right.
Yeah, that's the problem I've got. Because now, I've been a fan for many years, season tickets, all my kids had season tickets, and now I've gone away from going to games because I can watch them on the telly. There's a cost implication to that as well.
I think I've gone away from going to games because I used to like going. I mean, as I say, I lost complete interest in it, and then we'll go into this in a bit. But then I moved to London and I come back and got back into it. But when I was a kid, obviously I wasn't going in the pub having a few pints, but I still remember going to Worldspool and going with my dad and having the same walk down to the ground and all that, having proper grist and all. Probably Latchwood Labour Club, which is ours Labour now, or Cheshire Cheese or something, because we lived in Grappenhall, and we'd probably, whether we'd walk, I'm not sure, but that's the way we would walk. Over down Latchwood Lane that way, I think. But in the latter years, sort of like the early 90s, when I started going again, the games were predominantly still on a Sunday.
Yes.
And I used to love, it's not unnoticed that I like a drink. And the games were predominantly on a Sunday, and if you lived Stockton Heath, your walk could be Red Lion, Saracens Head, Causeway, maybe one in the club in the ground, if it was open before the games. Can't remember whether it was or it wasn't. And then when they changed it all, you thought, I don't want to rush home from work at 6:30 on a Friday and go to a game at 8 o'clock. Or, you'd either book in holidays to do it, or there was just the convenience of it and the tradition of it.
The tradition of them games. I mean, a lot of Warrington fans.
That's all for telly, though, isn't it?
Yeah, and without that telly input, the financial input, I understand.
But it's catch-22, isn't it?
Yeah. The new contract next year with Sky, they're not showing all the games.
Well, I've read earlier that the sponsorship, Doan Brothers, they're finished next year. Fred Doan.
Well, they're I can understand maybe one reason why they might be doing that as well. They're certainly not struggling financially, but obviously you know a little bit about the gambling industry, and there's been a lot of levies and taxes put on bookmakers now, and what
They've shut a load of branches, haven't they?
and the reason why Fred shut them is because he said he would do it if they put these levies on, and what they've done is they've put the same, it's not quite right I'm going to say, but it's not far away, they've put the same increased levies and taxes on bookmakers for horse racing revenue than they have done on casino gambling and these machines and all this kind of thing. And what he disagrees with, and I totally disagree with as well, a lot of that's taking away money that can be going into racing and whatever.
Right.
So there's another sport that's suffering.
Yeah.
You know, so he might be thinking, I've not got these shots now, I'm not going to have as much.
Well, you're not strangling the sport itself.
You're strangling another sport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And without discussing it with you there, now I've never really give it much thought, but them machines in there are sucking. I've seen lads put thousands in them.
Yeah.
And a mate's a postman.
Yeah.
A postman, I've seen him put thousands in.
Yeah, I think I know who that might be, but then that's another story.
I think, how can he afford that? The reality is he can't, and it's an addiction that was there. But because he's then not betting on the horses, he's not betting on the football. Saturday afternoon, before we went to matches, playing this,
You do a coupon,
you go in, you all have a meet up in there, there'd be a few bets, put a lucky 15 on, and have a go in the coupon, and then maybe meet back in there later. But that all changed, didn't it, with
well, they've I mean, we're going a little bit off track now, but he's closed the shop in Stockton Heath, and this is a bit like when pubs close. They forget about, it's more the older fellas who are not going to be betting online. Those fellas might be going in and having 10 pence each way all day, but they're meeting the mates and they're having a cup of coffee.
Well, it's something that we've...
Yeah.
But it's not Betfred's responsibility to support the community in that way, is it?
One of the things we've covered with the lads that we've done so far in the podcast is a little bit about when you get into the sport, the camaraderie that you experience. And when I finished football and it ended, there was no more... No, I didn't realise it, but I didn't have any of that banter. It was gone.
Yeah.
So getting back into the rugby league, it gave me a little bit of headspace where we go and we just chat rubbish. There's nothing seriously discussed in a rugby league changing room.
No.
But there's lots of conversations going on, and I think that's really good for men's mental health. We're all big tough men who don't talk about it.
I think when you finish, and this is when I finished playing union and when I finished playing masters, you still have friends, and especially from union days, because I played, over 20-25 years, and you retain those friends, and you retain the friends with the wives and the girls get on and stuff like that. But that banter that you have, it's still there to an extent, but it's not like what you have when you're waiting to go and get changed, and especially not like what you have when you're having a drink after that magic moment, that half an hour, 20 minutes.
It's what you covered in that, everything is open.
Yeah.
You rip everything out, but nothing is personal, and then suddenly you finish and you go, stop.
But it's a bit different when you lose if it was serious games, but it's still there, isn't it? And after an hour you get on the pop and it's all forgotten about anyway.
Well, we've done this, and one of the things that we try and establish is afterwards it's not even for us the game now. I like going do the warm up and I'll say, can we get straight in the circle and do 3 pips, and we'll go back to the pub and I don't need the game. I just need that camaraderie. I need to be around.
Well, I think the lads were aware of this, and I was probably lucky to be on the pitch as much as I was anyway, because as I said, I was very average. But I was always very keen. I used to like these Masters games where we did them in quarters instead of halves, because I'd always want to do quarter 1 or quarter 3.
Yeah.
So it would come off. Now that's 1, you can have a shower without anyone else being there, and 2, you're first to the bar.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking that.
You get a taste for the ale, don't you, on the actual, the day.
It's essentially what started this. We was all chatting after the games, and I thought people might want to listen to it.
I think Ricky needs credit. I think he's spotted a real little niche there, because there's that many podcasts where a previous colleague is Dave, who does Rugby League Raw, and he's got like something like 1.2 million followers going over his
I've watched that,
podcast. And he covers some fantastic subjects, but it's a professional game, and the amateur gets a little bit left behind. So it's where Ricky's picked up and said we could do this, and he think we're doing all right.
And there's more amateurs to choose from than there is professionals.
Yeah.
We need to get it out there a bit more.
There's probably more idiots as well, to be honest. I'm one of them.
Yeah.
We're not doing it for numbers. We're doing it because we have a laugh.
Enjoy it,
Yeah, we enjoy it.
No, but what I mean is, you should have that supply of people to
we have definitely got the
It was
supply.
funny because we did the first one, and by the time between the first one and the second one we'd done, the amount of offers we got. Oh, yeah, I'll do it. You won't believe how interested I am. Yeah, we'll decide who's interested or not. Thanks very much.
You took a gamble on me then.
So, you say you skip through school, not really much competition, not much playing.
No.
18, 19, up to the old smoke, down to the old smoke.
Brighton first, uni, well, Polytechnic, how old am I?
Oh, Polytechnic.
Dropped out of that, went to London, started working, loved living in London. I wouldn't live there now for all the money in the world, but I enjoyed it at the time, and at the age I was and all that kind of stuff. And then I got made redundant, stayed a couple more years, and then I come back. And it's great coming back up north when you have been down there, because you realise how friendly it is up here and how nice it is, for want of a better word. And then, you know what it's like if you do move away. Your school friends, and your school friends do disappear sometimes. Anyway, some people still have the same mates, don't they? But some, you just, they get married, people disappear, don't they? And there wasn't that original gang still around. There was one or two, but not that original gang. And I said, I know what I'll do. I could say I had an interest back into the rugby because my dad said, do you want to start coming to Warrington again? Which I did. And I think it was around the time when it was good, when we weren't winning anything as usual, but at that time, but it was when like Jiffy come and, them Monday night Regal Trophy games, Floodlit games.
Oh, the Floodlit
They were great. They were great.
I love Workington away.
Great atmosphere and stuff like that. And then funnily enough, them early Challenge Cup games where you're playing teams, it don't happen now. You used to at least one of them with my dad every year.
Yeah, me and our kid used to go Barrow away.
Just great, Keighley, anywhere like that. Yeah. But anyway, I thought I might have a go at playing because I'm not really doing much for myself. And I went to Latchford Albion. Now, you know better than me that rugby league in the early 90s is totally different to how it is now. And Latchford training, they only played like tick and pass, but they might as well have been playing proper rugby than playing tick and pass. It was like,
Gets like out on a Wednesday night sometimes.
It was physical. And I'm not saying I wasn't up to it, not at all, but I think my dad was slightly concerned because he'd watched Latchford a lot and seen what had gone on and stuff. So you might know there was a pub, we lived in Grappenhall, there was a pub on the corner of the Fairgrove Hotel called the Brinley Bar.
Yep.
Right? And my dad used to drink in there and I used to drink in there, and there was a bloke called Steve Hennessy who played for, he was a good player, played for Latchford. I think he played for Liverpool St Helens as well, actually. Yeah. And my dad basically had a quiet word with him and said, can you get our John up to the Rugby Union Club? I think he's a little bit more suited to that than Latchford. And it kind of was a personal safety thing, but it was just, I think, just my character as well. I don't know. I think my dad just thought it was better for me, and I didn't know. And then in the close season, because the seasons were different then, he said, do you want to... This bloke said, do you want fancy coming up? And I did, and I never looked back. And so it's down to my dad, really.
25 years.
Yeah. Well, 95 to... Yeah. Can't remember when I last played a game, actually, but maybe it was more like 20. But I did sort of, like, when you burn the boots and then 5 years later you go, I'll have another go, when you did. But I really got into it. Didn't know what I was doing. It's complicated rugby union. Nobody knows the laws, as they call them. And when, even when you've been playing for a long time. But I got to understand it, and I got okay, ended up, found my level, played a few second team games, and then I came like third team captain.
What position was that, John?
Prop, hooker,
yeah.
Back row occasionally if I could get in it.
It's a little bit different. The hooking role in uni is a little bit different, Rick. So if anyone ever says, "Are you all right playing hooker?" and they're playing uni, yeah, don't go there.
I can't watch it.
It was sometimes, I don't want to diss any friends here, but a lad I know who played third team, who was playing hooker, used to say, when he got to play first team, when he got a bit older, a bit stronger, or he got recognised, whatever, he used to say it was a lot easier playing first team hooker, rugby union, than it is to play third team hooker, rugby union, especially if you're up against a decent opposition, because the props that you're playing with have not got the same ability or cushion to hold you up and support you. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So even though there's a disparity in who you're against, the whole shape and form of the scrum and how the game is, people basically sort of don't know what they're doing. Do you know what I mean? It's dangerous.
Well, you've got to get in. You've got to start at somewhere.
But that's what he used to always say.
So you'll have an introduction. Whereas at first team, everybody knows what they're doing, and you're protected.
Yeah, funny that.
I compare it to football, and I say if you put me in a higher level football team, I might not be as good as them, but the balls I receive passed to me are better. The people covering you,
absolutely,
everything's better, and you notice that when you go and play with better lads.
That's a great analogy.
When you get in the ball, it gives you more time. The ball is here, it passes to you here. You're not up there, so that gives you a bit more time. So you look a better player. You're not too much out your depth.
Yeah. I think when I had the opportunity to play out a little bit higher, I think it just all happened a little bit too quick for me, keep up with it.
Is that what's up with me at Masters?
You're too quick.
I need better players.
You're too quick. You're too quick. That's what. Ricky, I didn't want to talk about it, but last week you threw a dummy that dummied the whole 26 people on the team. You dummied yourself and you threw it.
I think with Masters, I know we were going to get sidetracked, aren't we? Nature of the conversation, but I think when you mix them with the ex-pros and you're all supposed to be at the same level and the different coloured shorts and what you're supposed to do, in the majority there are still those ex-pros or certainly very good level amateur players who could kill certain people if they wanted to.
I totally agree.
But unfortunately, there is the odd one who likes to think he can still, prove himself or whatever.
There's not just an odd one, there's quite a few.
We played Crossies and Corey.
You didn't say it was Crossfield.
No. I'm using Crossies for an example.
So was a great example.
So I'd seen Toa come right through. I seen him when he joined the club, and I seen him go right through.
Warrington.
Yeah, at Warrington. Yeah. And then many years later, you come across him there. It was an occasional lad who I see because I had mutual friends. And then we come against Crossies, and he's in front of you, and he goes, and he's on the other side of you. Now, I think if he wanted to, he could get in the middle of the park and do that, and get the ball and score every time. But he's not interested in it. He's not interested in putting a shot on.
No.
He just wants to play the game.
No.
That said, the whisper goes out, and the people are saying, he's an ex-Warrington player, and they're trying to put a shot on him. And I'm thinking, what? Even if you do, well done. You've just tackled a man who played for Warrington 25 years ago. Well done.
But there was a team called the Vikings at Warrington, like a fifth team, like a veterans team, Warrington Rugby Union.
Right.
And they had a lot of ex-pros playing in that. Like, I don't know, Graham West maybe, Tamati played in it, Mike Nicholas played in it, a lot of different things like that. But one time I particularly remember, I think, you remember when Kevin Tamati coached Charlie Lynx or whatever they were called, Manchester Lynx.
Don't remember it.
Whatever they were called, there was that team one day that always got beat by quite a lot of points, but they were always in the like Division 2, I suppose, rugby league. Lancashire Lynx, Charlie Lynx.
Well, I think they were maybe Blackpool as well, because I remember
it wasn't Blackpool, but it was. That's how Blackpool went as well, unfortunately. Because Blackpool were good years.
Well,
ago,
they used to come and take, when I was playing at amateur, they'd come and took a couple of our lads. And you would go straight in. You was another. Yeah. But you would go and have a game.
That happened a lot, didn't it? In like the championship and that, or division.
But to get them all through, I remember many programs used to come and it used to say another. I'd say, what a coincidence is another playing here. There's 3 of them.
T. Riley,
he was a good one. He had lots of games.
But going back to what Kevin did, Chorley Rugby Union rolled up to play this Vikings team, and I happened to be in this Vikings team, even though I wasn't over 35. I was just like making the club. The teams had been selected, and I'm making them up. Do you want a game playing the Vikings? And Tamati must have had a connection with Chorley Rugby Union Club from doing this Chorley Rugby League, and he turned up to play a game. And when he went to tackle, that's what I'm saying, he barely touched you, he could have killed people. And up at Moore, they had Moore Rugby Union Club, they had Bob Jackson playing for them, Roby Muller, Kirk Sorensen, people like that. But they wouldn't,
They didn't.
They'd have to hold off, wouldn't they?
Well,
I don't know who these people are, if I'm honest.
Very old rugby league.
Kirk Sorensen was a witness, a fantastic player.
Yeah, I mean, I'm talking top level players there, aren't I?
Yeah. I played at Laporte.
Bob Jackson?
You know who Bob Jackson is?
Played for Warrington?
Bob the Ben Man.
And what era are we talking?
1857. No.
Bob Jackson, I'd say 88 through to 98.
See, no.
Too early.
I got into it in the 90s, late 90s as well.
See, this is like when I went missing for a bit. There are players that are mentioned to me, and I don't know. I'm probably know now because of the history, but I didn't know because I wasn't watching. If you weren't watching at the time, you're not going to know, are you?
No. They played it. I played it in a. It was Tuck and past then, the really early development years at Laporte, which was where the David Lloyd is now, and Witness put a team in it, and there was a. Kurt Sorensen played. Kurt Sorensen's wife,
like the Sevens tournament,
played in it. Yeah, and there was a big blonde who played at Widnes. Not Harvey. Someone Harvey. Might come to me, and they played in it. And exactly what you said. As big as they was, these were massive prop forwards who smashed people on.
It was Harvey Howard, but you don't mean him, do you?
Harvey Howard.
I think he played for Leeds. I don't think he had blonde hair either.
No, I don't think it's him. It's not. It might come to me.
You don't mean Neil Armand, do you?
No, he was here at Warrington. I've got a story.
I have as well, but
I came out.
Tell it on here.
I'll tell the story. I came out of Times Square because
mine's related to drinking.
I came out of Times Square on a Sunday evening and needed a wee, so I had to pee up a car. And then a girl said to me, "Excuse me, what do you think you're doing?" And I said, "I'm just having a wee, love." He said, "Well, you better clean that handle." So I looked at the car and I could see this handle, and then I looked closer and I could see these stickers, and it said, "Sponsored by somebody, Neil Harmon."
Amazing.
And it was Neil Harmon's girlfriend telling I'm going to pee up the car, so I had to pull my sleeve down. I said, "Sorry about that, guys, I didn't nearly bring that." And he was a proper Warrington.
He wasn't there.
He was there. He was there.
Was he?
But
you got away with that, didn't you?
Yeah.
He wouldn't have soft tackled you then.
No, I think he was a bit intimidated by my size. So these players, exactly what you say, they come through at any point you wanted.
I have to be honest with you. The ones when he was playing Masters, the ones that it never happened when I was playing Union. I probably wouldn't know who they were anyway. But because you'd obviously are going to get ex-rugby union guys who played coming down as well. But I noticed with Masters, and there was one particular time this bloke really, I don't want to sound like a mad ass, but he really bloody hurt me. And I found out after it was someone who'd played A team, but not quite made it to play first team in this particular rugby league club, whoever it was. And to me, it's some of the fellas who think they were good enough, but they obviously weren't, and still trying to prove themselves basically.
We've played games
because the famous names would never do it, would they?
No, they don't need. They've got nothing to prove.
No.
we've played games where it's turned into an amateur game. And I don't want to play an amateur game. I'm protected because I'm over 50 by my red shorts. And I'm getting picked up and dumped to the floor and saying, hang on a minute.
No, it's not.
It's not about that really. No. And that's not why I'm playing. As I said, the game could be cancelled for me. We'll just go, have the camaraderie, have the banter, and then get off. But I do like bumping around a little bit in between.
I can see if any of the lads from Crossfields watch this, they'll be taking the piss out of me because I know they took the piss out of me for months because when this bloke hit me dead hard, and I really did hurt myself. Like Rock Hard Ground, Stanley Park at Blackpool on the Blackpool Festival.
Oh yeah.
I can't tell you who it was, but it's none of like Warrington connection kind of thing. And apparently I stood up, probably like concussed, whatever, and I went, do it again. So all the way home I got, do it again. And the next week I got, like, say the banter, do it again. And that went on for about 3 months. So that was one particular incident that I was referring to.
My dad's a part of the old farts club at Crossfield. That's what they call themselves on a Friday night.
Oh, the Friday night. Yeah.
Have you been on the, what's it called, last Friday of every month? LFMO. Last Friday of every month with Lee Graham and the lads at Warrington Rugby Union. John Callender's in it.
Yeah, that's kind of, it's not really my gang that.
Right.
But they are. John's a friend of mine. John's coaching at Warrington Rugby Union now. So no, I know that they do that, but so that'd be. So do you know Willow as well? Yeah. So it's all that lot basically. Yeah. You all have your own sort of group, don't you?
Who does Alan Reddick play for?
Lim.
Oh, plays a bit of lip for Union for Lim.
He does.
Does both.
He plays.
So does he play in Chris Kinsey's team?
I don't know.
He'll be like the 5th team or the 6th team.
I don't know.
They've got, yeah.
He just goes there.
Yeah.
He's asked me to go down, but I'm not interested in heavy contact, and I don't. It's hard enough now when I get up the next day and think, that's what I enjoy, that level of ache. I don't want to be smashed. I don't want to be.
They're a good idea that those lower teams, or even some of them are like first teams in like smaller clubs that have dropped out the RFU leagues, and basically it's a league that's, I think it's outside of the RFU, and it enables like vets and younger inexperienced players to mix together and play.
Well, what we touched on before.
Anything wrong with that, is there?
Yeah.
No.
Teaching the game.
Yeah.
We have lads who come down and they've never ever played with the league, but they're in the 50s and they fancy having a run.
That was me.
Well,
I played 2 games at school, maybe.
Don't count that.
I think what you do get as well. I mean, we had that at Crossfields, and also had that Warrington Rugby Union. Warrington Rugby Union's got a very, and Crossfields has as well, got a very successful like minis and juniors section that they brought through, the ranks, and the parents who have come from other areas, say, so they wouldn't have played at Warrington, they might have played years ago, or they might not have played at all. So the kids are playing and they go, I fancy a game. And there's no wrong with that.
Well, you were predominantly start off with the dads and lads. And then as the kids get a bit older, they start to get 13s and 14s.
Get the bug, yeah.
And that's, I can see that would certainly sow a seed in some.
That's happened a lot.
Yeah. I have seen it as well where dads have been there and the teams have been short. And they said, do you fancy a game? They said, yeah, I'll put it. And they never again. Never again.
No. Or there might be one that's been an ex-pro and don't want to play at all. You got to remember as well. There's a lot of ex-pros who are completely the other way. They have no interest in rugby league. Just for example, rugby league. They have no interest in watching it. They have no interest in playing.
I think if you've been entirely saturated
your
with
whole
it
life,
for 10 years, let's say, that's as a career, before that, an amateur, 4 or 5 years, you've had 15 years, you think, I've had enough of that.
Do you remember Phil McKenzie played, the Kiwi guy played Hooker for Widnes?
He was he did my physio he was at Warrington,
Well, he's emigrated to Australia now.
Right.
But he had when I spoke to him in pubs and that stuff, and he had no interest in the current rugby league scene at all. He was more interested in his kids' football,
He was he did my physio.
Nice bloke.
And I got chatting with him. We touched on earlier on talking about Andy Bennett. He's Andy Bennett's favourite player. And when I got married,
I can understand that.
When I got married 2004, so 2003 I went on my stag do, and I'm in Blackpool, and Andy was my best man. and I spotted Phil McKenzie in the corner. I went over and said, Phil, can you do me a favour? And he said, how do you know me? I said, you did the physio on mine here at Warrington Hospital. I said, come and meet a mate of mine. He'd come over and he was like, whoa! And he was delighted to meet him.
Yeah, nice guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. You wouldn't, so these people who are quite, I'm not saying he's dead quiet, but who are quite like that, you wouldn't think they'd be like what they were on the pitch, would you? And it's like, so some people, the personality completely changes, doesn't it?
Phil been said to me, I'm mad for playing Masters. He said he would never do anything like that. Not at my age, he said. Did you get? But he said, if I won't be playing at your age. He said, no chance.
But I mean, there are some who also say they don't want to play it because they know they probably would want to kill people.
Yes, it becomes too.
But at least they're not, like I was saying before, where they know they can do that and they're still trying to do so.
Yeah.
You know, it's very, very hard to adapt playing Masters, though, isn't it?
I think the shorts and the colouring are a great leveler, but you still get people who are just a little bit too keen. But they quickly get found out. You say, take your time, man. Yeah. I do like holding someone down just for a little bit longer, and then they say, get me up. I say, you get up when I let you. And then I'll help them up and shake them
when you've got the palm on the face like that.
I'm not that scary. So you've played 25 years, pushing through the union. Any major injuries?
Round and about. Broke my collarbone. There's a funny story about when I broke my collarbone. I actually broke my collarbone because I got asked to play a game of rugby league for a company called, I don't even know if they still exist, my mate worked for them, called Tiverton Britain, like a warehousing company.
Yeah.
I remember Tiverton.
Yeah.
They were timber merchants, weren't they?
I think they were just logistics kind of things, you know. I think they did a lot for WH Smith or something like that. Anyway, this lad asked me to play. And it was at St Jude's, and I've never played. And I mean, apart from that bit at primary school, I've never played. And I think this guy put me a full-back. And even though I watched loads of rugby league, I can remember not moving up into the line, so I was just like waiting for the ball to come to me, and I just didn't get involved at all. And then I took this ball up, and this big Kiwi, like, I don't know if you ever broke your collarbone or anything like that.
No.
But when you do it, it's like, you don't realise you've done it. And then I went to pass the ball, and I know I ended up doing my arm, and this bloke went, your arm's hanging off, basically. And then all of a sudden, then there's that horrible...
Adrenaline's gone.
Well, the funny story, my mate took me to Warrington Hospital, and you don't probably know this, that with collarbones, you're always left with like a lump there. If it's like a clean break, it crosses over like that, so you have a lump. See that sort of thing there?
Vinny's got one now, hasn't he? He puts the magic sponge on now when he plays.
Yeah, because you have to kind of protect the lump kind of thing, yeah. And you can actually fracture it if you're not careful, because of the way it is. It'll actually fracture along the top as an additional thing. So you are, I never did, but you are supposed to protect it. And we went to the hospital, and this doctor, he was German, this doctor, and he said, I said, you're not going to operate on me? He said, no, I'm just going to put you in a sling, and you're going to go home, and it's going to mend. I said, no, but it'll be like that, there'll be things sticking out. He said, that's how we do it. He said, you don't need an operation, and it has been fine. A bit arthritic, but it has been fine. I said, are there any circumstances where you would do an operation and, pull it apart and clean, put it back together how it should be, kind of thing?
You put a little bar on it or something.
Well, yeah, and he said, if someone needs it for work or something. I said, well, what do you mean? He said, well, say like a male model. And he went, and obviously you're not one of them.
Can you say that in the NHS?
Yeah, bloody Germans. As it Stan Bowman said.
Yeah.
I know, you're obviously not one of them. Sounded a bit more Pakistani, that, didn't it, than German, but there you go.
You must have got a few more playing union though.
Well, you break your fingers, and don't you, when you play rugby? You don't really realise, do you?
No,
every time you go again, you'll see someone with two taped up together.
Yeah,
There's not much you can do.
No. I broke my toe once, but I think that might have been a pissed up injury after the game, that, rather than an actual game thing. But no, nothing. Teeth. Yeah, teeth. Yeah.
Ricky's not got that problem.
Remember one coming out I remember one coming out in a pint in the Red Lion after the game on the Saturday and gone loose and what the fuck's that? And it come out in a pint. And I've not looked after my teeth, I must admit, and a lot of that's from
Same.
rugby. But I'm scared at dentists, I don't know about you, so that's probably the reason.
Ricky's still got all his teeth, it's just that they're in a cupboard. In his mouth.
At me mum's.
We were after them 50p's, weren't we, mate? Or whatever it was we used to get. Yeah. No, so that was about it. I mean, alright, you could say, well, I never played at that sort of higher level where the impacts and stuff are, but if you're playing rugby, aren't you, at the end of the day?
It's all relevant. You're playing against whatever level you're playing at, it's all relevant.
You still get an elbow in the face, can't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so then, I suppose naturally we'd be moving on, wouldn't we? I went and played at Moor a little bit, lovely little club. Up, you know where it is. I don't know if I've played up there at all.
I've never played on it. We nearly bought an house on that little road where you turn in. We're backed onto the canal.
Yeah, but it's still. See, Warrington had Bridge Lane originally, which was great. And that was my era, and I'm so pleased I was around in that era. Then they had the fire. Then they moved to Warrington Sports Club, and now they've moved to the Sports Club at Grappenhall, and I always think that rugby union clubs or rugby clubs in multi-sports clubs are not quite the same as rugby union clubs with their own identities, because I think, I don't know, it just the dynamic's completely different. So I'm glad I was around in a club that just, but Moore's still got that. That's what I'm saying. It's just a rugby club.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I've been and had a go on the the high beam in Warrington Rugby Club.
Yeah.
I've had a go on that.
You were encouraged by? Do you mean in the Bridge Lane? I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So so is that because you knew Lee? Were you
Yeah,
invited
it was
up?
Lee, Jamesy, Badger.
And
Andy
everybody used to.
They go on, get up there.
Yeah.
So
I was probably one of them catching you.
You get up there and you have to stand on a roof joist. When the club's got a vaulted ceiling, and you stand on it, you drink your drink, you drop your glass down, then you have to fall backwards.
Trust people, but backwards or forwards, yeah.
And I said I can do it.
And that was often at like 3 o'clock in the morning. But
I won't be doing that.
Times have changed now, though, haven't they? As well.
Health and safety, you won't be able to do that anymore.
You know what? Also, I like about the time we was around. And I know, culture's changed and licensing laws has changed. But you know, when we played, we wore tie-in shirts. That's one thing.
Yep.
And League did that as well, I think. And we kept them on, and we'd still have them on when we come out of the secrets at 2:30. But the difference is with us is we'd be in the club. I think they used to say, I'm not sure if it's true or not. Obviously, under the old licensing laws, the pubs would shut. Correct me if I'm wrong here. They'd shut, wouldn't they, about 3 o'clock, then they'd open again about 7 o'clock on Saturday afternoon. And they used to say that Warrington Rugby Union Club between 4:30 and 7 o'clock was one of the busiest places in Warrington.
Because it was just off the beaten track.
Of course, you'd have like your peer points and all your other clubs and that, the comic club and all that kind of thing. But just because there was so many people there anyway playing sport and your away teams would come back and all that kind of thing. But what I'm trying to say is, the atmosphere, like it was on about atmosphere and banter before, everybody would be there and we'd just stay out and we might then go Stockton Heath or then we'd go town or whatever. The kids now, they don't seem to, I think we've got it, at Warrington Arena, they've got it back a lot now, where they are hanging around. But I think there was a phase where they just sort of went home and then they reconvene at like 10 o'clock at night.
I don't even know where Warrington Rugby Union Club is.
You do.
Do you agree with that though, in terms of the drinking culture? I'll come back to that.
I hadn't experienced it in the rugby league because I'm one who stays out. I can't.
But you're of a I'm talking about the
younger ones. But what I have experienced in football, first of all, they turn up. Hey mate, have you got your subs? Oh, do I have to pay them every week? That was the surprise to them every week. They needed a text message to tell them that the game was on every week. And I used to say, I'm not texting you every week. There's a game every Saturday and we meet every week at 12 o'clock until I tell you different. But you still had to send a text message. And if you didn't, they didn't turn up. And then after the game, there'd be no shower. straight out, no shower. I'm not getting in the shower. You're all gay. No, we're not. We're just like being clean and lathering up each other's love rug. That's not all that. And then straight after, we've been to
that
various...
wasn't me, by the way. Oh, you can see me.
We've been to various pubs where they'd be the sponsors, they'd put something on and they put chips on, and no away team used to come back to your club, which was unheard of in rugby league because the away team always come back. Football away team...
You mean stick around, you mean?
Don't come back to the club at all. They don't come back for a one drink because we use... So then, of recent, the King's Head in Warrington Town, fantastic pub, sports on, music, everything. No away team would come there. And the young lads would come, they'd come and have a glass of orange and then start feeding the machine, pound after pound after pound. So they've not paid subs, they turn up in £150 football boots. And then, do you want to go on this football card? No, you misunderstand me.
I've got the money.
How do you think your kit's generated? How do you think we wash the kit? You know, that kind of thing.
But it's like something you reminded me of then. I'll come back to where the rugby union in a minute. But when I was doing like the third team, you had to ring them off a landline. There wasn't even a mobile to ring off. And I'd get them on, and I'd speak to them via the mum, or can you ask them to ring me back using my mum and dad's phone and all this kind of thing. And now I'm told in certain circles they can't even respond to a WhatsApp message. And all you've got to do now is say, you picked, the game is X time, this location.
But
and reply, and they don't even reply.
We've generated that many different...
I'm not having to go at youngsters here, sorry.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. You're all scumbags.
Saying it how it is.
You're all scumbags.
But the Rugby Union Club was on Bridge Lane on Cobbs Estate in Appleton. That's where it was originally. Well, not originally, but when I started. Then it burnt down. Then they moved to Warrington Sports Club, which is up at Walton where they play cricket. And then it moved to Grappenhall Sports Club, which is not the same club, but very near to where Grappenhall Griffins used to play.
So I played Bridge Lane. You go under the bridge, turn left outside the canal.
See, I know where that is.
That's Broad Lane. Sorry, not Broad Lane, but Bridge Lane is the one that goes up the hill on the council estate, or council estate as was.
Cobbs Estate, yeah.
Where you jumped off the beams.
Yeah, so that's
gone, but the pictures are still there.
The pictures are still there, yeah. But Grappenhall Griffins I played there for Grappenhall Griffins because I think one of the Foden brothers lived on that lane and allowed us to put the floodlights on.
Right,
right. And the canal there's a canal right there side of the pitch. You weren't allowed to kick it for distance.
But the club, I think the pitch where the Rugby Union play now, it's a bit too far from the bar, but we have a lad, Rocky, who's a great lad who has a golf cart and he has a little bar on the back.
Was his back right?
Great, yeah. But I think that's the pitch where Grappenhall Griffins used to play.
All right.
But the clubhouse isn't the same clubhouse.
It used to be on...
Like a wooden building, wasn't it?
Was it on stilts?
Yeah. The fella used to live in it.
Oh, right.
Yeah. The steward, yeah. Yeah, and then I think it just got... Was it just rugby league, that? Is that all
That's all we did, yeah. I think part of the... We used the changing rooms, but part of it was condemned. You couldn't use it all at the same time.
And I recall this, yeah.
Since I've been back, all the car park's been changed. I've watched my son playing football there.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's not the same club, I don't think. I think the club was actually slightly different, sort of adjacent to it, wasn't it? More where because the rugby pitch they don't play the rugby well on that football pitch.
No, the rugby pitch was right up the top.
Further away,
right up the top.
Yeah. But I think that club there now is... What did they play there? Well, they have the Grappenhall tennis clubs there.
Right.
The football. Is it Grappenhall? Are they called Grappenhall football play there? I can't remember. It's a decent football scene anyway. And the Rugby Union.
It's mad. We obviously we play at Rylands. Sadly, the demise of Rylands Club has been...
What a clubhouse that was as well.
And it's there now, and it's going to rack and ruin.
Is it not being used then?
Not used at all.
No.
So what does it do for a bar?
The footballers have generated their own bar at the side of the pitch.
What, like a porter cabin?
Porter cabin style thing, yeah.
It's in the little stand.
But they could have left the rugby to itself. The cricket's gone. I know they put training pitches on there. The cricket's gone. The bowling greens have gone. They could have left them and let them go into the old clubhouse or even the mem hall and let it generate itself.
I don't even think they use that side of
I don't think they do.
Of the complex.
Is it not? That buildings are like the black and white buildings.
Yeah, it's listed building, the memorial hall.
Yeah.
I think there's a plaque inside.
That's terrible.
We played one game on there.
Well, I've
Masters did.
Yeah.
We played one game on that pitch since the football had been there, but we played a lot of games on there from when I started.
I've played Masters on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but a long time ago before he come with football.
It was like the coming home thing, but we played one game, they put us on the back pitch. But we did get changed in the posh changing rooms, they were very nice.
It's just a shame, really. You know, you've got over 100 years of history within Rylands Club, within Warrington. It is rugby league through and through, and you can push it now. Luckily, the parents have got behind all the kids' teams. They've dispersed all over the place, but they're still going under the Rylands name, which I credit to them.
Playing where Wilson used to play, which is bizarre, isn't it?
Which is bizarre, playing on Bennett's Rec.
And we kicked off, weren't we? That's not Rounds' fault, by the way.
No.
But Bennett's Rec's got its own strange limitations of how you get on there. Again, going back to when I was footballing, we tried to get a football pitch on there, and they said no, it's for the youth of the area. So we got local councillors involved, and they wouldn't let it. And it was a pitch that was used once a fortnight for rugby, and we wanted to play football on it, and they wouldn't have it. But
they've only just started letting us play on there.
Yeah, times are changing. We're on there now. Pity there's no bar. I remember going Woolston and.
I'm trying to think when
there was a bar right where the changing rooms is now.
Yeah.
There used to be a square.
Bar upstairs.
Yeah.
When I was a kid.
I went in about 94. Let me think, 94, 95, and one of the Warrington players did a presentation. He was an ex-Woolston player, and he went and he said, "Have you got any advice for the?" He said, "You've got to work hard. You've got to train hard." He said, "And let's get pissed." But it was the under 15s. Brilliant, great advice. Brilliant. But that was typical.
One thing, this is how these conversations go into. It's just sort of, I love tangent conversations anyway, so it's right up the street.
Yeah, it's told you, it's just a chat.
That's what it's all about, and that's how your conversations go in the pub, don't they? So it's reflecting on that, isn't it? It's just us having a chat, isn't it? But one of the things that I had my eye on playing Masters was because I thought being a forward, I can't do the physical rugby union forward stuff anymore, the scrums and the line outs and all that kind of thing, the lifting and all that kind of stuff. And if you were a back, it might have been easy to carry on. And I'd heard about, there used to be a version of Masters called Evergreens of Rugby, which was a rugby union club.
Oh, right.
And they were all different coloured shirts under a different kind of format, but that unfortunately folded. But the thing that got me into Crossfields was, Dave Reed, obviously, don't you? Good bloke. I used to go to Kimpass on Vicky Park.
Yep.
And he used to keep saying to everybody, what's this Masters like? Is it hard? Because I was trying to judge what it was like. And some would say oh no, it's a bit thingy, it's a bit quick, it's this, that, it's a bit physical. But some would say, no, give it a go. Anyway, I did. But one of the reasons why I'll say proud of doing it is because my dad passed away a couple of years ago, but my dad was a massive rugby league fan, Warrington, but he also worked for Crossfields. Now, he didn't play for Crossfields. He played a bit of cricket for Crossfields because there was a cricket pitch on where that
on
pitch
that
is
front
now.
pitch now.
That's why they call that bar the scoreboard bar, because I think that's why there was a cricket. I'm not sure, but anyway, might be wrong about that. But it was just nice to go to, even though I say only Masters, it was just nice to say I played for Crossfields.
Yeah, of course.
My dad used to come and watch, you know what I mean?
That's why I play Masters as well, because I wanted to leave something. I wanted to do something and leave something behind. I've got pictures, videos.
Well, it's funny that, because I only mentioned last week, after 29 seasons of football, I think I've got one team photograph. In 7 years of Masters, I think I've got 400,000 photographs.
Yeah. It's just like my kids could say to their kids maybe, oh look, he played rugby for a bit.
Well, it's kind of the opposite of mine, isn't it? Because I was I was doing it, got the back of my dad working there. And you're doing it to leave that kind of legacy behind, aren't you? Do you know what
just
I mean?
to leave a memories.
But I ended up playing for Lancashire, and I know they say in Masters like, oh, everybody gets to go and all that kind of thing. Well, I don't care. I've got that shirt there, and I play for Lancashire.
Exactly.
Fuck off. That's my.
We went to.
I've got that, and that, you know, no one took that away from me.
Well, we went to Vegas, and we played for. We were referred to as the expats, but there was I think there was 8 or 10 of us from Ireland, and played over there. We were unbeaten. It was basically a rival team with a couple of extra lads. But I've played for Great Britain. I don't care what anybody says, and exactly what you said. I've got the shirt, and I've got my grandson now, and I'll say this is when your granddad was 50 and he still played in Vegas against the Australians, the Americans, the Canadians, and I'm proud of it.
Amazing. And you know, my dad watched it. One of my best mates watched it. A couple of best mates watched it, and even I found out afterwards. This is funny. The judge was watching, you know, Peter
Yes.
get this, and I've known Peter for a long, long time, and he started to get credit out of Peter, and apparently he whispered to my mate, said, he's having a good game today, don't he?
Wow.
So I went up to Peter and whispered it, I said, thanks for that, Pete.
It opens doors like that for you as well.
He's a good lad, Peter.
Well, we've got a friend, colleague, and a playing partner who's been picked for England a couple of times. He was a football friend of mine. He's come down, got involved in the rugby league. Has done a couple of representations now, and he's proud as punch. Sadly, the reason I mention it, sadly at the moment, he's just gone through a bit of a tough time. He's not very well. I think he's leeching on the NHS. He's had a few operations now, and he just wants a little bit each time. I mean, last time I think he died for about 20 minutes last time, and they brought him back. That's a big cost to the NHS. That.
But do you know what? Unfortunately, I mean, such is life as we get older. We come across more. They say you go to more funerals than you do weddings, don't you? Eventually, and all that kind of thing. But of course, if we're playing Masters, we are going to have people.
You've got a bigger
who
group.
are going to get ill, and unfortunately, some of them are going to die as well. You know.
But I just wanted to give him a shout out. All the best, Kev, and hope you quick recovery and
all the best, Kev.
You know, get you out of hospital. Bed blocking. You know. Just saying. Andy Burnham. You know what I mean? He'll have you out.
We're supposed to be supporting rugby league, so we'll support him, won't we?
Yeah.
Going back to Masters, I played in the Warrington Legends team with Alfie Langer.
Amazing.
So with Cowie Love. When am I ever going to get a chance to do something like that?
And this is what I'm saying about the connection to the sport with professionals who you have respect for, who some people, they've been their idols, haven't they?
Well, still, I'd like to thank...
We went... Go on.
Alfie Langer.
No, I'd like to thank Aidy Gagan for allowing me to play in that game. Thank you, mate.
We'd gone to... I think it was we played in a team. I can't remember the name of the team, but we played at Wakefield Trinity against a side, and Sculthorpe and Morley were in my team.
The All Stars team.
The All Stars team,
Yeah.
and then
we came down,
and he said, Aid shouted a move off the scrum, and I just said, Moss, just get a bit deeper there. And then I just paused for a second and thought, what am I doing? What am I doing? And he did.
Tell him what to do.
And he just get a bit deeper there, boss. You're on for it. And we were saying, and Sculthorpe was there, said, Scully, we're going to run an X. He said, what's an X? I said, running that direction dead fast. He went, right, got it. Exactly what Ricky said. We don't get the opportunities to do that. You couldn't name a football fan who was going to play with his heroes.
I had a picture took with... and they were taking the piss out of me, but I actually knew Tower outside of rugby league because he used to come in the Red Lion with Sarah, who's his wife, and I got to know him quite well, and he used to sit with us when he was playing for Warrington. So I did legitimately know him, but you know what I mean, don't you? I didn't just know him as a rugby league player. So, but I also knew Mike Wainwright a bit as well, through my mate Dave Hart. I don't know if you know Dave Hart, so right. So we played Masters after all this time, and they had a picture took, me, Wedge, and Sower, and I just kept, I thought, I've got a nice picture, blah, blah, blah. I'm just I don't read a lot of books, and I certainly don't buy many magazines. And I bought Rugby League World at Manchester Airport. Or what is it called, Rugby League World? It's a glossy magazine.
Don't think I've ever heard.
Not Rugby League Expert, is it called Rugby League World? Stu's nodding, so yeah. And on the front of the magazine it said, and it also, one of my favourite bands, Joy Division, and it said, Cowie Love will tear you apart. And I thought, that's a good tagline. And it's so I opened the article up, and he'd asked them, or they'd obviously asked him for some pictures. There was a picture of me and Wedge in Rugby League International. So there's that. But that, funnily enough, is a link into the story that you want me to tell you about Liverpool St Helens.
Yeah.
So that was me, Tower and Wedge in Rugby League International. Whether Tower had done that on purpose for me, I don't know, but it was just a nice thing for me to be in that magazine with them. But the Liverpool St Helens story is, Liverpool St Helens were a good rugby union side.
Yep.
When we first started, I don't know if you know this, there was no leagues even for first teams in rugby union. They were just what they call club matches. There was like a merit table, but there was no real league structure, even in the early 90s, right? And so the first team and the third team would always tend to play the club that the first team were playing. It's how the fixtures worked out. Once they became a league structure, it couldn't be so because the thirds would be in a different league with different clubs. And that took away that like crossover where how I've ended up with like best mates who were better players than me because you'd be travelling.
The two teams would travel at the same time.
The third team, with your ties and shirts on like we went back to before. So this particular time, they're playing Liverpool St Helens and we're playing Liverpool St Helens. And for some just ridiculous reason, this bloke was running at me and he stepped me, this guy, and he was going like the speed of light, and I put me out. It's not like me. People say it was like me then. And I put my arm out and I knocked him out, or nearly knocked him out basically. And he went flying. Right, he was on the floor. So I thought, gee, I don't know what I've done there. Anyway, I walked off. So the ref had said after the game, I just thought he's going to have me over and did a red card, off you go. I walked off. He come up to me and said, I didn't send you off, you just walked off. So Mike Parsons, very kind of Mike Parsons, you know, the reporter for the Warrington Guardian.
Oh yes,
yeah. Mike Parsons reports sometimes would go in the Warrington Guardian and then they'd go into the rugby, into the Manchester Evening News. And the Manchester Evening News had a pink, I don't know if you remember, which was all the sports stuff. And it didn't go in the Warrington Guardian. And this is why it links into me Rugby League International story. He wrote this article and it said, Warrington Rugby Union so-and-so, third so-and-so, which would never be reported in the Manchester Evening News. Because really it should be in the Echo, shouldn't it, rather than the Manchester Evening News. But anyway, it was the story. And he put, Honest John is off when he's on. And it was a story about me. But next to me, there was no picture this time, was this match report from the Wigan game on the Sunday, and I remember it was Neil Cowie and Mick Cassidy, the two pictures, and then next to them two was this story about me.
Fantastic, that.
I know, and I've lost the article.
Going back to Wedge, I knew him through Andy for many years, known him, and I hadn't seen him for a long time, but again, he always gave me the time of day, always let on, and I was always buzzing to know a Warrington player, and we were mates. And
he's very good friends with Dave Artill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I put in some applications for some jobs. I didn't know at the time. Wedge had gone into recruitment and was looking for lads. So one morning he said, I got a phone call. I was looking for work, I got a phone call. And he said, is that Dennis? I said, yes. He said, you've applied for some jobs. I said, yeah. And I was thinking, who's this? And he said, I said, what's your name? He said, Mike. I said, Mike what? He said, Mike Wainwright. I said, have you seen the name on there? He went, Dennis, is that you, Dennis McQuillan? He said, yeah. I said, all right, Wedge. He said, oh, how are you doing? All right. He said, can you come in and do a thing? I said, I can't, Wedge. I'm going to meet the Queen. He said, what? And I was going to, when the Jubilee was being opened and the Queen was open, I was coaching some kids on the AstroTurf. While the Queen. So I said, sorry, Wedge, I can't go. I've got to go and meet the Queen. But then I bumped into him. I was working in Asda. And he was like looking and he must have been thinking, what's he doing? I was working anyway.
Well, I think Dave played in the same academy team with. Well, it was a good academy team because there was Bennett.
Well, they won everything.
Yeston Harris.
Yeah. I think
Wedge, obviously, and a few others.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I think back, like John Huff, who was coming through, Lee Westwood was coming through.
I think they've got sent off in the academy final, but I'm not 100% sure.
They had a little reunion. Dwayne Mann was over a couple of weeks ago, and they had a little reunion in the Brooklands, and Tony Thornley went, and Gary Tees, and I bumped into Gary on Saturday. I was watching the Warrington game.
Gary played rugby union club, yeah.
And I bumped into him, and he'd been for 3 pints and didn't recognise me. When he come for his 4th pint, he went, all right. I said, you only recognise me now, you're 4 pints in. You know what it is.
Now, he is someone who could have killed you if he was trying properly. You know, because he started off at rugby union. He said, I'm just playing 3rd team, I don't want to play any higher.
He was
so I played with him quite a lot. Strong lad, yeah.
Strong lad.
Yeah. I know Gary, yeah.
Ricky's Quickies, Stu.
Ricky's
I've seen the finger go up, John. It's Ricky's Quickies.
Right.
Ricky's Quickies.
Ricky's Quickies.
Ricky's Quickies.
These are just a couple of little things just to add to the podcast for you.
Yeah.
What's the worst excuse you've heard for missing training?
Heard. It's got to be dead dog or something like that, I think. I can't think. It might have even been true, or dead cat or something.
I've got a work one.
Probably dead dog or dead cat again.
No. He didn't come into work because he nearly got run over.
Nearly.
that was one excuse I got there. And the other one was got chased by a bumblebee and couldn't come into work. These are genuine, by the way. So John, I'd like you to finish these sentences.
Okay.
You should retire when...
I'm retired. Or do you mean rugby?
Yeah, rugby.
There's a serious answer to it when it feels absolutely right, but that is sometimes. See, I'm giving you a long answer here.
It's alright.
It's alright, Stu will cut all this out.
No, I'm trying. You should. It's very hard. Do you know that's really hard to answer because I've done it so many times and come back. But when you actually know, there you go. Because I actually knew this time round.
At Crossfields.
That's it.
Yeah.
Nothing. No more rugby union. No more rugby league. No touch rugby. No walking rugby. No nothing. Don't even want to hold the ball.
Sorry, did you ever go walking rugby?
No.
I did.
Oh right, I'm not keen.
And it's harder than you think.
Is it?
Yeah. That's surprisingly.
you?
Surprisingly.
I'm not there yet.
No.
The lads have a couple of mates have gone walking football and they want me to go down. I said, I can still run. Only a little bit, but I can still run. I don't want to.
That was the end of my hip life though when I was trying that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that particular time is. I think it was also as well. I mean, this is a more serious answer. I knew I was going to stop because I was starting to do my job before. I got paid if I got hurt, and then I decided I want to do this sports betting stuff. Now I'm not going to get hurt doing that, but I do the gardening as well. And if I fuck myself up doing that,
Difficult then to,
Yeah.
I have to back a lot more winners if I can't garden.
So, you know it's amateur rugby when...
Well, my favourite story for a game being delayed was when a friend was having a shit. So when a teammate's having a shit, when the game's delayed,
good answer, I like
teammate's
that.
having a shit.
And
Big burn.
the quickest way to get fined is...
Smack somebody, I suppose.
I
But,
suppose it is, yeah. Or abuse the ref,
yeah.
like my mate did for 4 weeks. That's it for me.
Well, thanks very much, John. I found your stories very interesting, and it's been great to have you down. Thanks very much for your time, and we'll see you down. There's a festival at Crossfields on Saturday. If you're down, don't have to play. You can just have a pint.
Probably not, but I do need to get down Crossfields because I've not been down for a while.
Yeah.
I see him at the Christmas meal, which they've kindly still invite me to, and then I don't want to get to the next Christmas meal before I've been down there. So I do like a pint, so we'll get down there at some stage.
Always welcome to join us. Thanks
So
very much.
So it is that time of year, yeah. It's the Crossfields Festival.
Good stuff. Thank
Right,
you.
thanks very
John.
much. Enjoyed talking to you both.
Thanks, John.
Cheers. Bye.